Hey, today we're going to be using Jellicent. With the recent update to Go Battle League, Jellicent now has access to the charge move of Surf, which allows it to handle the Galarian Stunfisk and Bastiodon matchups a lot better. A good pairing right here is going to be Abomasnow. Abomasnow and Jellicent polarize each other in some cross coverages, and they do well against the Great League meta. Now with Abomasnow on the lead and Jellicent as our anchor, we're going to need a safe swap that can draw out typical counters to Jellicent, such as a Sableye, while also covering some common weaknesses that we see with Abomasnow, such as Medicham. So today we're going to be choosing Hypno, and in this case, Shadow Hypno, with Confusion, Shadow Ball, and Thunder Punch. Alright, getting into the first battle here, we have Abomasnow on the lead versus Trevenant. So, somewhat of a good matchup here for us, as Powder Snow and Weather Ball are going to be doing super effective damage. Now, they decide to swap, and they do a beautiful swap right here. It was one Powder Snow after catching the charge move now on Registeel, so I'm going to go ahead and load back up to Weather Ball and now swap into our Shadow Hypno. Even though this is a Shadow Hypno, it can tank a Zap Cannon. It really can't tank two. So we're going to go ahead and let it go through, as it does do a good amount of neutral damage, and thankfully it didn't lower our attack. So what we're going to do here is look to go for Shadow Ball. Now, if this lands, I think we might just be able to farm down with Confusion. So we're going to go ahead and look to go for that. We're going to safely shield this next charge move and try our best to farm down with Confusion right here, which will allow us to have Shadow Ball on the back end. So we do fully farm down. Beautiful. We're going to see that Trevenant come back in. But thankfully for them, they throw the Seed Bomb, stopping my Shadow Ball, so we do go down. But Abomasnow now can safely come back in and look to overload on energy, because Lord knows they're going to try to swap out. Now they swap into a Talonflame, and this is beautiful, and this is why we're running Bubble and Surf right here. It does a lot better in the matchups against Bastiodon, Galarian Stunfisk, and we shielded the Brave Bird right there. And also the typing, right, with the ghost typing, we still resist a lot of the counter moves, such as Medicham, right, with counter. Now we do see the Trevenant now try to 1v2 us right here, as they did save 2 shields for it. But thankfully Surf actually gets no shielded, which means Powder Snow should be able to close this game out, as we can go for another Surf here. And the spam with Bubble and Surf is very, very nice, and having the coverage of Shadow Ball as well. Now they're going to go ahead and try to commit to the farm down, but instead look to throw the Seed Bomb right here, and we will be able to Powder Snow down as we sneak through the fast move. As long as we survive the Shadow Ball, let's see. Yeah, we survived the Shadow Ball with 1 HP in a dream. Beautiful. Good game right there. All right, moving to the next one, we have Abomasnow versus Sceptile. All right, let's see the spice. Now, this is a very good matchup. They decide to swap into Mantine, so I'm going to go ahead and look to go for the Energy Ball right here. And then I'm going to be swapping into our Hypno, as it does have Thunder Punch. Now, they decide to shield, which is always very nice, especially early on in the game. And we're going to go ahead and let these charge moves go through, as Shadow Hypno can do very, very well with Confusion and Thunder Punch. Now, unfortunately for my Hypno right here, it's about to get hit with a lot of Bubble Beams, completely debuffing it and making its attack go all the way. It doesn't already have high attack, but it's going to have no attack after all these Bubble Beams. So thankfully we can get to the Thunder Punch, and it will force shield number 2. So this is already looking like a very good situation for us, as we are in a very safe position. The Mantine isn't threatening our health. We have the Sceptile now swapping back in. So we're going to try to go for the Shadow Ball, which we do get to in time. But unfortunately, because of all the Bubble Beams, this is not going to one-shot that Sceptile, and we are going to swap now into Abomasnow. I'm going to go ahead and give up a shield right here on the first charge move. It is just going to be a Leaf Blade, which is fine. And they look to get to the back-to-back. So we'll let this next one go through. But it actually still does a good amount of resisted damage. Now we do see a Nidoqueen come in. So this is going to be a good game, as Abomasnow here can do super effective damage with Weather Ball and Powder Snow. And we still have our Jellicent as well, with the Bubble, Surf, and Shadow Ball to close this game out, as it's going to be resisting all the move, or the fast move here from Nidoqueen, and have a Shadow Ball for the Mantine in the back. So that is going to be a good game, very well played. All right, moving to the next one, we have Abomasnow on the lead versus Kanto Ninetales. So, very, very bad lead for us. We're going to swap out right away into the Shadow Hypno, and thankfully Confusion does quite a bit of neutral damage in this matchup. Now, they're going to go ahead and go for the first Weather Ball, so I'll let this one go through, because I'm reading that maybe they're weak in the back to Shadow Hypno, as they're deciding to stay in right now. So my goal, kind of just like the Mantine situation we had in last game, is to try to get shields from them. So we do get a shield right there. I'm going to look to go for another Thunder Punch, so if they let this one go through, we might just be able to flip, or take it out, I should say. But we get 2 shields, which is perfect. They're going to go ahead and farm us down, and I need to come in with Jellicent. Now, we always got to respect the potential Solar Beam. I do not want to get caught getting boomed this early in a season, and since I have 2 shields, I am safe to throw this up, even though it is just a Weather Ball. And we're going to go ahead and farm down. Now, let's see what they have in the back. It is going to be a Wall Rain, which is fine. We just need to watch out for Earthquake, and even then, Earthquake won't one-shot us, so we could let it go if we're reading something else in the back that Abomasnow can do well with a shield. But my guess is that I'm going to go ahead and shield right here because they may be very weak in the back to Jellicent as we do stop the Earthquake. So let's see, we're going to go ahead and overload a bit on energy and go for the Shadow Ball, and let's see what that final Pokemon is going to be, as Walrein was their best answer. It's a Medicham, so beautiful. They do decide to surrender. That is going to be a good game. Alright, moving into the next one, we have Abomasnow on the lead versus Dragonair. So very positive right here for us, as we can do super effective damage with our moves, and I just need to be very careful about them potentially swapping out. So I decided to go for a Weather Ball on CMP Tai right here, as it is just going to be a Body Slam. Now we can survive that, but the Dragon Breath damage coming through next is really going to hurt. So if we get a shield right here from them, which we do, we might just need to swap out after this next Weather Ball, because we can beat them to that charge move. So we're going to go ahead and throw the Weather Ball and look to swap out into the Shadow Hypno now, and they decide to swap in a Charizard. So this is a very good situation for us. This is just going to be a Dragon Claw, but I want to maintain a good amount of health. I do have 2 shields, so I'm going to go ahead and overload on energy and now go for the Thunder Punch to take out the Charizard. We'll be able to get to another charge move very quickly here against the Shadow Dragonair if it decides to come back in. Now, this is resisted because of the Dragon typing, but the Dragonair is so low, and this Thunder Punch is going to do just enough to kind of chip it down where we can safely no-shield this next charge move and trust in Jellicent to close this game out for us, as we can farm down with Confusion. Now, the final Pokemon is going to be a Magnemite. I'm like, whoa! And it's not like low combat power. This thing is powered up, I believe. It's going to be XL, which is super spicy by them, but ultimately our Jellicent is going to be able to take this with Bubble. We have to shield, obviously, but with Bubble and Surf right here, it's going to take this. And this is what's really cool about Jellicent, is these kind of neutral match. Well, technically this is a losing matchup, but this neutral damage that we can do now with Surf is just so nice in a lot of matches. Good game. And we got Abomasnow versus Noctowl. Here we go. Finally running into a Noctowl team. Let's see what we can do. Obviously, we're both doing super effective damage to each other, and they decide to swap into Medicham, so we're going to go ahead and bank our energy and come in with the Jellicent. Now, we don't need to shield the first Psychic. We can safely let this go through and look to overload on energy. That way we have a potential Surf on the back end versus the Noctowl to kind of chip its health down. So we're going to go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball right here. Boom! It does land. Nice shiny Medicham, but it's gone. And we're going to see that Noctowl come back in. Now, I don't want them to take me out, right? Because I could fake an Ice Beam. I could. But I decided to go for the chip damage with Surf, because now this makes Weather Ball a lot more dangerous versus them. And it also forces them to throw energy, because I could get to another Surf. So Sky Attack does take us out. We're going to come in with the Abomasnow, and they swap into a Toxicroak. Oh, Shadow Hypno. This is beautiful. 3-tap. That's going to be a good game, as they're going to go ahead and let this Thunder Punch go through. Shadow Hypno is the biggest, most satisfying counter to a Toxicroak, and you rarely see it. So that was a good game, but ultimately we had them covered All right, we got Abomasnow now versus Azumarill. So really good lead matchup for us. We just need to be careful about them catching the charge move, kind of like Trevenant in that first game. So we're going to go for the Energy Ball right here, as it does do super effective damage, and look to see how they decide to play this. They're going to go ahead and shield, so I will shield right back. This was, I believe, 6 bubbles, so it's probably going to be a Play Rough, which means their Play Rough Hydro Pump. That's good to note. And they decide to swap into Nidoqueen, so I'm going to come in with the Hypno. Now, I could have come in with Jellicent, right? We're going to be resisting all the moves. But with Hypno right here, even the Earth Power isn't enough to take us out. We can farm down with Confusion and barely survive. That way we have a Thunder Punch or Shadow Ball, because they brought in a Jirachi, ready to go for whatever Pokemon comes in. So Jirachi is going to go ahead and give up that final shield as they farm us down. And now we safely win this game with Jellicent, as we can go for our own Shadow Ball once again, as we do also resist the Doom Desire, which is going to be coming through right here because of our water typing. So this is looking to be a good game as we get to the Shadow Ball now to one-shot the Jirachi, and then we can swap back into Abomasnow, boom, for the Azumarill matchup. So that's going to be a good game, very well played, but ultimately we had a lot of great answers right there for my opponent's team, as Energy Ball is, well, it's not going to KO right there. It's Azumarill. It's super thick, but we're going to go ahead and shield and then look to go for a Weather Ball to finish this game off. But I believe they do decide to surrender right here, so that's going to be a good game, very well played. All right, moving into what I think is the final battle. Let's look at the time. Yeah, this is going to be the final battle. We got Abomasnow on the lead versus Shadow Machamp. Uh-oh. We're going to go ahead and swap into the Hypno, try to get a Confusion through, and we do, and in comes... Oh, it's a Alolan Marowak. It's the GOAT! I fear the GOAT. It's so good. All right, we got to go for a Thunder Punch right here, and we do get a shield, so that's already beautiful. Now, I'm thinking, you know what? If they go for straight Shadow Bones, we can win this with Confusion, but they went for a Bone Club. Oh, what a devastating move right there. And this is now going to be a Shadow. They're going to outpace me. This is going to be Shadow Bone. We got to let it go through. And now this is a very, very tough situation for us. We have to come in with Jellicent, because we can't come in with Abomasnow. We'll get melted in 3 fast moves. Kind of like what that Hypno did to the Toxicroak. And we have to give up a shield here, which is also unfortunate. So we got to see what they have in the back and hope that Jellicent can kind of core break right here. So let's see what they got. It is going to be an Ampharos, so we're going to go ahead and go for Shadow Ball, because I might just be able to get to 2 Shadow Balls, and maybe it just takes him out. They let it go through. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to go for a Surf now, and what I'm going to try to do is time a swap to catch the charge move. So we get a shield. I'm going to go ahead and go, and I'm going to... I misclicked. Oh, I misclicked the time. No, we're going to go down to Thunder Punch. And now Machamp is just going to destroy my Abomasnow. That is so unfortunate. What happened there is I over-tapped. I did an extra bubble instead of trying to catch the charge moves. That was a mistake on my end, but ultimately, good game to my opponent right there. But this team was a lot of fun to use. I think Jellicent with Surf now added to its moveset is going to be very strong in this meta because of what it can do to Bastiodon and Galarian Stunfisk while still having good matchups against Pokemon like Medicham, doing well potentially against Trevenant with Shadow Ball, having neutral damage, a lot of neutral damage now for Umbreons. It's overall pretty strong in this meta. So, hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and like always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.